Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You Made That, the podcast about makers, making, and the things we make. Tonight, we'll be doing a special interview with Emmett Newsome, and we're going to talk a little bit about his maker chess set. But first, let's take a couple of minutes and run through what everybody's been working on. Michael, why don't you start?
Nothing.
All right, thank you,
I
Michael.
relinquish my time to Rebecca because I know she's got a crap ton of stuff to talk about.
Well, okay, I appreciate that, Michael. That means Rebecca has about 10 minutes. We're going to try something new tonight. We're trying to kind of put the show back on track, and we're going to let everybody have about 5 minutes. So Rebecca gets 10 because Michael has relinquished what he's been working on. But I think before I let Rebecca talk, I think I'm going to turn it over to our guest. Emmett, why don't you give us a little, let's not talk about the maker chess set here. We'll save that for the show, but tell us what else you've been working on in your shop.
Well, today I turned a couple ornaments. That's for somebody from the Discord group's doing a like an ornament challenge. If you send him an ornament, he will buy gifts for children that need gifts for Christmas. So every ornament he gets, he's doing a certain amount of money extra than he normally spends. But yeah, it's the first time I've been out in the garage for a while. I was at the Mid-Ohio Valley Pin Turners Gathering where I met Bob. First time there, had a great time. Did buy a bunch of stuff. I just haven't had a chance to turn it yet. I want to make a couple videos off of the stuff that I've got, but today was just more of a get back in the garage and just turn something for me. So,
well, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you got to meet Bob. I hear he's a wonderful guy.
He was a really nice guy.
He's a little full of himself.
A bit.
Yeah,
especially at that show.
He's somewhat narcissistic. We'll admit that. He's a little narcissistic. So I'm just joking. I'll go ahead and run through what I've got. There's been a lot going on, but I'm going to keep it short. I also attended the Mid-Ohio Valley Pin Turners Gathering where I had a fantastic time. If you have not been to a pin show or any type of a wood turning show, I urge you to save your nickels and dimes, maybe sell a few pins and try to attend one. I also had a chance to attend SWAT, the Southwest Association of Wood Turners, and I got to demo for them, which was a lot of fun. It was a new experience for me, but it was a great time. And at that show, I got to meet the world famous Rebecca DeGroot. Yes, Rebecca DeGroot was there, purple hair and all. It was wonderful. It was a great time. But I'll get off being silly for a minute and jump back into what I've been working on. Those of you who follow me on my YouTube channel, What You Doing Bob, the shop vlog, will know that I've lately been making a lot of blanks, custom segmented blanks. And what got me kind of what my demo was about at SWAT. So when I got back into the shop, I just kind of carried on, and I've got about 90 blanks made so far.
Just
I've been busy. So, well, I had a few that were made for the show. I actually started cutting them out and had them so that I could, here's part A, here's the next step, here's the next step. So I put all those together. So that was a lot of the blanks, but so I've got about 90. Not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. That's still up in the air, but something will happen, and just keep watching my channel and you'll hear all about it. Beyond that, I've been doing a lot of painting. We've been remodeling the house a little bit, just freshening it up. It's been about 5 years, almost 6 years. So it's time for some new paint. And with that, I'm going to cut it short. And Rebecca, I think I had a minute and a half left over. So you now have 11 and a half minutes. Let us know what's been going on in the world of Rebecca DeGroot.
You're actually paying attention to the time. I have no idea. Okay. So let me start off with SWAT was awesome. After I was finally done having being sick, being real sick. So I got to miss the first 2 weeks of school, which was interesting. So now I'm playing catch up, and then going into SWAT and having 5 demos. I think I actually had more demos than anybody else did at SWAT, but it was so much fun because I got to demo twice my mini aquifer, which was the first time I had actually demonstrated it live. I got to demo, what else did I do? My walking mushrooms, mushrooms, which was awesome. And then the last one, which was my bonus demo on Sunday, was my gnomes, which was kind of interesting because our table items, like every year for the banquet part of the Southwest Association of Turners, we have a table item And I think like previous years, it was all turnings from beginners. Another year, it was like Christmas trees. This year, it was all gnomes. And I can tell you for a fact that their gnomes did not look like my gnomes. And so I had to try to convince everybody that was like, I don't know if I want to go to your demo. I've already seen like hundreds of gnomes on all the tables. Like, they're not the same. I swear they're not the same. You're not going to see the product that was on the tables. No offense to any of the products that were on the tables, but Bob, you saw them.
Yes.
And then you saw my gnomes. They're not the same.
No, radically different.
Even though they are the same components, they are completely different.
Exactly. And not saying anything negative about them. They were beautiful. There were some wonderful gnomes there. But yes, your demo was 100% different than anything I saw out on the tables.
Yeah. So I did that. That was great. Came home. The following week, I think the following week I got my stabilizing system set up. So I'm stabilizing now, which is crazy because, I have so much other things that I have to be doing and not a lot of time to do any of it. But I'm just like, I've been casting and I was like, but what could add to the casting and bring more color to my life? Because, color. So
right.
Working on stabilizing now, there is quite a learning curve and I'm getting the hang of it, I think, although I'm going to need some advice on these vacuum pumps because I've had 2 of them that now won't turn on. So we'll see.
Where did you get them from?
Okay, one of them's Harbor Freight and one of them's a pawn shop buy. So I'm going to blame Harbor Freight for Harbor Freight. And the pawn shop buy is doing the exact same thing that the Harbor Freight one is doing. It'll just kind of like make a noise and then click off. And if anybody has any advice on how to fix that, please let me know. Do you have advice?
Yeah, take that pump, chuck it out the window.
I actually, Curtis Seebeck, right, Rebecca?
Yeah, he's the one that I got most of the setup from. So he's the one that I got the vacuum chamber, the cactus juice, and everything else from. It's just he didn't sell me the vacuum pump. He recommended a couple brands,
right? And
I didn't get either one because I couldn't find any of them used. So I got the next best thing, a free one from Harbor Freight. And then another one that he said was a good buy at the price that I told him it was at the pawn shop. So I'm still going to reach out. Another problem I'm having is the cactus juice like dissolves my gloves. I need to figure out what material will hold up to that because it just disintegrates them after like I'm pulling things out and like moving
what kind of gloves?
Nitrile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I honestly, I would go back to Harbor Freight and buy a cheap set of forceps and reach down in there and pull your stuff out with the forceps instead of your hand.
I've got like big pieces.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
Like real big, like big.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyways, so I started stabilizing. Then we went to the the Texas Woodworking Festival in Austin. It was hot, but it was cool. I liked it. It was fun. It was a day of just seeing a bunch of vendors and then there was alcohol involved. So it was kind of interesting because I walk in and I walk past the Alamo wood turners, which are the Austin wood turners. Alamo? No, Central Texas. Sorry, Alamo is San Antonio.
Right, the Alamo sponsored me.
Yeah.
At SWAT. Yeah, they're great guys. Bunch of great guys and ladies. A lot of great ladies too.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. So I walk by this wood turning group who I had demoed for in the past, the guys out of Austin, and they're just like, oh my God, it's Rebecca. And they just hand me the tools and they're like, turn something. I'm like, okay. So I hop on the lathe and I turn an ornament real quick.
I have a very similar effect. They're like, oh my God, it's Bob. Quick, hide everything. What?
Okay, so then the following weekend, Henry and I spent the night in Austin. It was just like nice to be able to get away from the house because sometimes you got to do that. And so we came back, and then the following weekend was the Texas Woodworking Show, which isn't the woodworking show, it's the Texas version of it. After the woodworking show stopped coming to our area, we're like, well, we're Texas, we're just gonna make our own. So that was fun. I ended up spending all 3 days there after school on Friday, and again, I found a lathe and I kicked the demonstrator off of it. I was like, let me turn some stuff.
Oh, she's not bossy at all. No.
I'm obsessed. No, okay. So Doug Dixon, who works with Easy Wood Tools, I don't know what his official title is, but he doesn't do a lot of wood turning, and I know that he doesn't do a lot of wood turning, and so he's just turning along, doing some Christmas trees, and I was like, Doug, do you need a break? Because I know those days, those like 8-hour days of just turning and talking and turning and talking. And I was like, okay, if that were me and somebody offered me to just like give me an opportunity to step away from the lathe for a while and stop talking to all these old men, I would take them up on that. So I turned a little box on Saturday, and then I turned another box on Sunday, and it was great and lots of fun. And then I got to do like an official demo, and I got to use the wood from where Henry works, which was just directly across the aisle. So I was like, oh yeah, you like the wood? Go over there and buy some wood. And I started working with the Caster's Choice mica powders from Brian.
Brian, right.
Yeah, who was also at SWAT. And they've also, Henry's job, the Hamilton Lee Supply, also started selling Caster's Choice. And so I'm telling them all about it. And I was like, yeah, go check them out over there. And by the end of the weekend, they had completely sold out of his products, but not of any of the other mica powders that they had, because Brian's are so much more affordable.
Pro
they're
tip.
good quality too, but don't tell them I said that. But they're top quality. I mean, and I'm teasing Brian because you know, I had fun with him at the show this past weekend. So.
Pro tip with Brian: don't ever show him glitter. You will be in for a fight.
So
he gets bombed by Jason Rose's wife every year that they do the Mid-Ohio Valley Pen Turners.
Glitter bombs?
Like glitter bombs, yes.
Oh, did you know that glitter is considered a hazardous material?
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I would be so upset.
It's all in fun. Hey, does that wind it up?
That pretty much wraps it up.
Well, what I would go ahead, Michael. Do you have something else?
No, I was just shocked. We're at less than 10 minutes.
Well,
I can keep going.
No. I'm keeping this on track, Michael. Actually, what I would like to do, we're gonna interview Emmett today and kind of talk with him about a lot of different things. We got some questions for him, but before we do, okay, I want to highlight what Emmett's been working on. Emmett, I'd like you to give us the full story of the Maker chess set. And then once you're done, we'll start going at you with some questions and just kind of see where the interview leads us. So tell us a little bit about what you've got going on there, because I think it's a great cause.
So it started with Nick Zametti did one a few years ago. And when I started following him, I thought it was a cool idea. I reached out and wanted to make a piece, and didn't realize that the video was like 2 years old. So it had been over for a while. So I've had that in my mind for a couple years, a year and a half or so. Thought about making a chess set with other makers, and for myself. I don't play chess, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And as we talked about before, my wife wasn't having me having a chess set that wasn't going to be used. So then I thought, well, let's do the same idea, but raffle it off and sell it to, or give the money to some charity. So a girl that works with us, that's what she does. She works with different charities. So I got her to get me a list of some local Pittsburgh charities that she liked. She gave me like 4 or 5. The one I chose was towards the top of my list, and then I put out a video on calling makers out. If I had a few pieces after I had the initial asking around that I wanted to get made or still needed. So in that comments, somebody said, how about Proud Haven? Have you looked at them? Which that was who I was going to go with. So when I had that in mind, and then that comment kind of threw it over the ledge, and that's who I went with. So Proud Haven, they work, this is a Pittsburgh-based nonprofit that helps LGBTQ youth that are homeless for whatever reason. If they get kicked out of the house after they come out or whatever, they could be homeless. They help them, they give them resources. And I thought that was a pretty good charity. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought it was a good charity, and that's who I chose. So I reached out. I'm in a Discord group. There's a group of makers called Makers on Zoom Having Coffee that meet every Saturday on a Zoom call. So they have a Discord group, and I put it in there, just kind of feeling the waters, saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Anybody interested? And within a day, I had half a set. So So then I reached out to other people like Rebecca and Bob and other people I've worked with or know, and filled up the board rather quickly. And it's almost complete. Wink, wink.
No, I think ooh, that's a shot across the bow there.
But no, I'm pretty excited. I opened up the raffle, not officially, but I mean, it's open. I don't have an end date or anything. I'm just waiting to have the complete board, put out a actually opening video. I'm probably going to run the raffle for 2 to 3 weeks after that. So it's getting close here. As we sit right now, I've got $2,025 without a complete set. Now I had an anonymous person did match me up to $1,000. So I made $1,025, and that person they actually sent me the $1,000 the other day. So
that's awesome.
So I'm over. I mean, I thought I was going to make like $400, and I was going to be very happy with that. So I'm ecstatic with 2,000. If I don't make another dime, I'm pretty happy with that. So.
No, I think that's wonderful, because I know your comment was, I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, and the thing is, I know a lot of people have a lot to say about the LGBT community, but we're helping kids. Okay,
exactly. We're
helping people, human beings, and I was always taught by my parents that love thy neighbor, and not love thy neighbor unless they're gay, love thy neighbor unless they're a lesbian. I was not taught that. I was taught love thy neighbor. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm looking for the link right now, because I want to go ahead and I want to buy my tickets while we're on the show tonight, because I want my donation in there. And because I'm excited about this. I think it's a wonderful cause, and a lot of lucky people are going to hopefully benefit from this.
Yeah. And whoever wins this, I don't know what this is actually worth if you had to buy it. I mean,
it's priceless.
Yeah. I mean, the one piece I'm waiting on, that artist is probably, but no, I honestly, I have the other queen. I think, and you met Austin from High Caliber Craftsman. I believe, Rebecca, that made the other queen.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Where did I meet him?
He was at a show recently. I'm pretty sure he met you. But anyway,
okay.
he does machining, and he made the queen out of brass. So it's solid brass. It took him like 4 hours to turn this thing. It's got knurling on it. It's beautiful. But there's, every piece. I haven't had one piece I've been disappointed in. I like that a lot of makers went outside their box and what they're comfortable doing.
I tell you what, Emmett, go ahead and give us kind of a quick synopsis of a couple of there are some beautiful, gorgeous, unique pieces in there. So throw out a little bit of a synopsis on some of those.
Sure. So first, Austin's Queen. That was actually the first piece I got in the mail. The very first piece I got, my father-in-law started turning because I did. So I didn't want to leave him out. So the chessboard was filling up pretty quick. So I called him and said, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to turn a piece too?" So he was like, "Yeah, I'll try a pawn." So that was actually the first piece I got. And he knocked it up pretty quick. But his was just wood, turned a couple. He made like a chaos blank sort of. But yeah, Austin's Queen, solid brass. It's gorgeous. And Bob, your king. I knew it was going to be gorgeous, but it blew me away when I opened that.
Well, thank you.
I've gotten some out of leather. I did. Ooh. There's one that's her name's Tennille. She does stitch leather work and saddle work and just all kinds of stuff. Hers is really simple. It's just 2 pieces of leather. I don't know what you call the joint, like a table, like a 2-part table that sits like that. But it's really simple, really, one of my favorite pieces. Ben Neiman did a walnut piece where he took a small piece of like a cube of walnut, CNC'd out the pawn in one direction, flipped it, and then CNC'd it out the other way.
I saw that. That's so cool.
That is it's so simple, but it's one of my favorite pieces. He was doing Micarta. So backstory on that. I turned a piece, started getting some in, and I didn't like the way mine. I liked it. I was worried about the longevity of it because what I did is I turned like a cylinder, cut it at angles and then glued it back together with the offset the cylinder so it kind of stepped. And I was worried about that breaking over time and the glue failing. So I switched gears. I had a couple pieces of micarta when I did a project last year, and I wanted something different other than wood. So I tried that. And the problem with that was if the pages were running east and west, I was catching. And so then I cut it, and I cut another piece, glued it on top so the pieces were running north and south of the pages. But then the problem was it was so small, there wasn't enough epoxy to hold it together, so it kept blowing apart. So I scrapped that, and then I went with just a piece of Paduke, which was actually my original plan, and turned a very traditional bishop. He did micarta out of Ben did micarta out of playing cards. Same thing. He had the problems that it just kept blowing apart on him. So I was pretty upset because I wanted to see that succeed, because I wanted to see a micarta piece in there, because I like paper micarta. So, but yeah, it didn't work. So that he was pretty upset about it, and then he knocked out this walnut piece with the negative space, and it was just like perfect. Don't like that? That's awesome. I like it better than what you had.
Hey, do me a quick favor.
Yeah.
We're going to do this at the end of the show, but I want you to go ahead and shout out how people can go and look at these pieces, because you've talked about them. I want them to be able to see them. So real quick, give us that link, and then Rebecca had a question.
I take a picture of every piece as I get it in my Instagram. So it's just Deadrise Woodcrafts over on Instagram, one word. You'll see all the pieces there. So as I get a piece, I take a picture of it. And then so everything's posted. Actually, the only one I don't think I posted, I was looking the other day, was Austin's Queen. So I owe him a photo. There's one in there of it with a group of pieces, but I didn't do an individual one. But yeah, you can see that there. I also have a YouTube, very small, but I do a video.
Shout out your channel. What? I know you have a YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell us what those links are real quick.
Sure. Same thing, Deadrise Woodcrafts. I can also send you guys over. I have a link tree on my Instagram that will take you to everything. My Instagram for Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. But yeah, and then there's videos. I do update videos as I get them in. I do about 8 or 9 pieces at a time. So I've got one more video coming out for the end, and as I describe them and hold them up, I have a close-up picture of them as well. So
fantastic.
Nice.
Rebecca, did you have a question? I interrupted. I'm sorry, but I wanted to get that link out.
I don't think I did.
Oh, okay. Well, then I've got a question. We've talked a little bit about the Maker chess set. Tell us, Emmett, when the raffle will be held. I know we have one person you're waiting on. They do listen to the show. They're a good friend of the show. We love them.
It's me. You can say it. It's me.
Rebecca, I was trying to be politically correct about this. I didn't want to shout you out. Okay, we are waiting on Rebecca's piece, which is in production. It just has not been completed or shipped.
Okay, that's another thing that I've been working on. It just needs another couple coats of finish after I sand around the legs a little bit more. It's got this little okay, I gave part of it away. It's got legs.
Of course, it's gonna have legs.
It's gonna have legs. And what's taking me so long is I was thinking I was gonna do something with resin, and I was like, no, I don't like the way the resin looks. And then I was gonna do like the actual crown, and I was like, okay, this is really stressful. And then I think I showed you that after I put the little scallops on the crown, and it's like, oh my god, it's so stressful. And then I didn't like the way the legs looked after I had already turned and sanded and finished all 3 legs. I was like, these look terrible. So I remade the legs, and it's just been taking a while. But then I brought it to school because I was like, okay, I can finish it in my classroom in between my classes. And then my students all wanted to see it, and nothing happened to it, I swear. But they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I told them about the cause, and they saw your Instagram and your YouTube, and they're like, oh my God, wait, it says he only needs 2 more left. Miss, are you the one that's holding this up? I was like, yeah.
I know you're busy. It's okay.
No, even my students are getting after me now. They'll probably talk to me about it again tomorrow. Like, you need to get this.
I was not going to put you on the spot, Rebecca. but now that we've put you on the spot, I just finished buying my tickets online. I want to know when the announcement is so that I know when I won this chess set, because I'd really like to win it. And plus, that puts Rebecca on the spot to finish her piece. So, Emmett, when is the drawing for the chess set?
So the drawing, I don't know yet. Once I have all the pieces, I will do an actual announcement video of when, that it's officially open. Like I said, it's been open for a couple weeks now, but I'll officially announce that it's officially open. And I'm thinking about running it probably 2 weeks, maybe 3. I don't know what a good timeline is, or how long that I should run that. So I'm looking right now, probably mid-October it should be done. And then once it's drawn, I think I'm going to go to Proud Havens. I've worked with them a little bit. There's an employee there that's been working with me pretty good. But I think I'm going to go to their office and have them draw the ticket, just in case, because I bought some tickets myself, because I'm like, I'd still like to have this thing. I'm not supposed to have tickets in there because my wife doesn't know that, but don't tell her. But I did buy some tickets myself, so I don't want to pull my own name. Yeah. So, if they can do it, great. If they can't do it, I will pull my tickets out. They're in there, but they're gum banded together. Sorry, that's my Pittsburghese. But they're in there together, so I can pull them out easily if I need to. If I have to pull the tickets, my name won't be in there. But I will either do a live. I'm probably going to do a live on Instagram or YouTube, regardless who's pulling. But if I don't do a live, I'll definitely have a video up.
No, that's great.
And I'm also there's going to be a book that goes with it that I'm going to get printed that has each page has two pieces on it, and it'll have a picture of the piece, the person's logo, their shop name, their name, where they're from, and then the material that was used.
Wow.
So just to give a little backstory on each piece. So I've been working on the book. I'll have to order that once I have it all done, but it's pretty much done. I just have to add one picture.
Yeah.
And
okay. So everybody, you heard it, roughly mid-October. So don't waste time. Go to the links. We'll put them in the show notes. Once Emmett sends us the link tree, go to the link, check out all of the amazing pieces, and then get your tickets. You're not going to want to miss out on this, because it's stellar to see what some of these folks have done. Okay, great. Emmett, why don't we kind of take this in a different direction and just start kind of questioning you a little bit. Tell us what got you into turning. What was it that really gave you that kick in the pants and made you want to buy a lathe and start turning?
I learned to turn, I was probably in my, I'm going to say early teens. My dad bought a lathe. I don't even know where he got it from. My dad always had a workshop. I grew up my family's owned a restaurant since 1983. So I always grew up in the restaurant business. My parents worked pretty much every day, open to close. But he always had a wood shop with, radio arm saw, band saw, everything. And then one time he got a lathe. I don't even know where it came from. I don't know if he bought it new or used or what. But he taught me how to turn. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. I like the. It's a great stress reliever. I mean, I don't have to tell that to you guys, but so I did it through high school. I mean, not really. I didn't make pens. I didn't even know that was a thing. I would just turn lamps or bolt. We had no chuck or anything, so it was like when you turned a bowl, you had to make sure you didn't hit the screws that were holding it in the bottom. But but it was just that kind of thing. And I still have some, some bowls my dad made, and then I got away from it. So that was, like I said, I was probably in 11, 12, 13, and did it through 18 or something like that. Nothing, just every once in a while, if I felt like doing it, I'd go over in the shop and turn something. And then about 3 years ago now, I've always been a maker, but I had no idea what to call myself. I didn't know if I was an artist or I've done everything from painting, sculpting. I went to school for photography. It was big in my life in high school. Actually met my wife at photography school here in Pittsburgh. And
she was a model, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In case she listens to the show.
Yeah. She was.
Yes.
Yeah. She was in the photography program as well.
If she listens to the show, he's screwed.
Yeah. True.
Well, that's true.
But yeah, so I mean, I've always done something, and I've always liked to have my hands in something. So, I mean, it can be from my grandmother taught me how to crochet and cross stitch, and sew. I made every curtain in this house. I've made every piece of artwork on the wall in this house.
I noticed there are no curtains on the wall in that room. Just throwing that out.
Look, there's a curtain right there.
Okay, I thought that was a shade. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, it's nice. A Roman shade. I made that.
Nice.
Whoa.
That is nice.
So, yeah, I mean, so I've always been doing something. So I got into watching YouTube and watching people turn on the lathe because I enjoyed it when I was a kid. So I got talking to Jake Thompson over at Northside Custom Crafts. Don't know if anybody's ever followed him or knows him. Resin. He does a lot of resin work. Him and JP from JP Woodworks. He's from England. And just talked to them on some Zoom calls or whatever we used back. I don't remember what it was. Something on Google or something. I don't know, but it was like video calls. And really got piquing my interest again. So then I started looking. I bought a small wind lathe just to get back into it. Bought only no traditional tools because I don't have room. We have a small one-car garage that my wife uses. I have a little teeny bench at the front that wasn't there until I bought a lathe. And then one day I built it, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I may have bought a lathe online, so I need somewhere to put it."
May have. I may have.
And then she, after I told her, I enjoyed it for a stress reliever, and it was a nice kind of thing to do. She was okay with it. It gives me some me time, and
nice.
So she was all right with it. And that's how I started turning. So got back into, I had these grand things of, I can turn pins and sell them on Etsy, and now I've got like 45 pins in a box, but but I enjoy giving things away. So I really do. And then, I'll make pens and I give them out to coworkers or whoever. And it's nice on a fly. You can make a gift for people if you're going to a birthday party or something. So I reach in there and grab it. And then the YouTube just came with it. I just started making videos because of my photography. I enjoy working on Photoshop. So after I got the hang of editing videos, it's like the same. So, I mean, I can spend hours editing a video or even just a photo or whatever. I don't have a great big following. I have like 500 subscribers, but I enjoy making the video. If I get 50 views, I'm happy with that.
Nice. Very nice. Well, hopefully we can send a few more viewers your way, with the massive audience that we have at You Made That. I think all three people. If we're not,
and I'm one of them.
If we're not subscribed to you, we will. So that makes it 4. So, but no, I'm just joking. So Rebecca, anybody else have a question? Otherwise, I'm just going to shoot with another one.
Well, yeah, I've got a question that hopefully Mike is not planning on stealing from me. We have a habit of stealing each other's questions, primarily Mike stealing my questions.
Is there a piece that you've given away that you most regret giving away?
Dang it.
Well, last year...
Thank you, Michael, for that very intuitive question. Go ahead, Emmett.
It's one of my favorites.
Last year, and it was actually really...
To steal.
I did another... it wasn't for a charity thing, but I did maker swaps. So I did 2 a month with makers all over the world. It was a way...
2 a month?
Yeah. The thing was, I started with... I was going to make a video and a maker swap every month. And then it kind of went out of control. And I thought, okay, well, I'll do bonus swaps and I'll just do something small like a pen. But then I didn't think about, so then I had 2 swaps and then I had 2 unboxings. So it turned into like 4 videos a month, and it was a little overwhelming. I mean, I had a great time doing it. It was during 2020. So it actually was a nice distraction from all the crap that was going on. But there was some pieces in there. Again, I don't turn great stuff, I don't think, but I was very pleased with, and it was hard. The Micarta one was real hard to get rid of. I turned to my Micarta sphere that was about the size of a softball and a little stand for it to go on, and I had to package it up and send it to England. But yeah, and it was fun, watching my videos from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. I can see myself getting a little better and better. I'm sure if somebody watched me turn like Rebecca, they probably cringe. I'm sure I do lots of things wrong. I mean, one, I wear my shop Crocs. So I wear flip-flops in the shop, which I'm sure people love.
Rebecca wears socks.
I'm usually barefoot.
Yeah, I'm barefoot a lot if I don't have flip-flops on. But
yeah,
I could see some of the things getting better. But yeah, I really liked that piece. I turned a really nice apple that turned out to be I turned that in October when we lost our cat. And the guy, I actually turned it like 2 days before we lost him. So he told me I could keep it. He was a teacher, and I was like, no, it's just sentimental for now at the moment. So, and I can always turn another apple, but I was happy with that apple. There were so many that I was pretty proud of for that maker swap I did. So, but I got rid of all of them, but I got some beautiful pieces back from people. So it was fun.
Did you get to keep them? Are they on
Yes.
display?
Yeah. I had to build a shelf in the garage. So everything's out in the garage above the lathe. But yeah, there was a couple that got lost in the mail from England, which I was pretty upset about. But
you kind of see that shelf in one of your videos.
Yeah, it's behind me usually in the videos. Yeah, but yeah, I got lots of different pens from people. I mean, I got some beautiful pieces of artwork from people, so I was happy with that. Andy Berkey sent me. I have a photo that he took on the wall. The piece I sent to him, I was pretty happy with. He takes, I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he takes beautiful pictures of like dewdrops and stuff. So I turned him a dewdrop with a cherry base, which it was driftwood that I turned, and then I dyed it like blue with t-shirt dye, like RIT t-shirt. I was like, I don't know if this will work or not, but I'll try. But it came out pretty good. And then I took a piece of cherry and made ripples in it, like a water ripple. So it's just a little desk piece, but it sat in my office for like a month before I'd send it to him. So then he was like, what do you want? I'm like, Andy, I don't care. Anything from you would be great. So he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'll take one of your photos. I like photography anyway. So yeah, he got it printed onto canvas and signed it. And that is in the house. That's right here beside my desk. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the pictures he takes of his dog.
Oh yeah.
I don't know Andy personally, but I do follow him on Instagram, and I'm always amazed at some of the stuff he posts.
He is an amazing person. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain how great I don't know him from he didn't know me. I didn't know him. And I reached out to him with a question about the thing I made for you guys, the box challenge. So I asked him, I was like, hey, I have a question because I'm thinking about doing some gold leaf. And I just asked him that on we talk all the time. He always sends me pictures. But like the next thing I know, I'm getting a FaceTime call, and I'm like, what is Andy doing? I thought he had like pocket dialed me, and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, I didn't mean for you to call me. Like, you could have just told. I had some questions about gold leafing. But yeah, he took time out and called me, and super nice guy. But yeah, we chat all the time because I love photography, and he actually made me pull out my college photography book and go through stuff, and I send him pictures every once in a while, like, hey, here's something I took. I thought you'd like it. So
nice.
That's pretty cool.
His photography is amazing, and the work he does is amazing.
Like everything he touches.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he's just a talented individual.
Yeah, very much.
I don't know him personally, so I'm not saying that to stroke his ego. I'm saying that because if you don't follow Andy Berge, you're missing out. He truly is a talented individual.
Yeah, he is.
So Emmett, what's your favorite medium to turn or material?
Honestly, I like wood.
What type of wood?
It doesn't matter.
Are you allergic to any types? Are you limited?
I don't know. So here's what's funny. Until I listened to you guys' podcast, I had no idea that you could be allergic to wood. In February of 2020, so right before the pandemic started, my face got really peely, and I didn't know why.
Oh.
I had no clue. Just it looked like alligator skin. It was just peeling off. So I finally just went to the doctor, and I still had no idea what it was, and I don't know if it was any kind of wood that I turned, because when I went to the doctor, they're like, I don't know what it is. They gave me an antibiotic and everything cleared up, but I'm still thinking, I wonder if I turned something that didn't agree with me. But I've never had any other reactions other than that could have been wood. But
I find it best that when you're working with super glue, don't touch your face.
That's a good, yeah. But yeah, I like wood. I like anything with really grain. I mean, I do turn some resin stuff.
Okay.
I like it. In my opinion, it just makes such a mess. I don't know it. I like wood chips because they go away, they fall away. But the resin, it wraps around everything, and you got to stop.
Too,
yeah, it's static, gets it everywhere. It's beautiful when it's turned. I mean, I've turned some resin pens and razors and stuff, but yeah, I like wood. One of my favorite things to do is when I start turning, I don't like to stop until I'll turn it, sand it, finish it with, I use Axe abrasive paste mostly. And then I like to stop the lathe to see what I have, like for the first time. Like I won't look at the grain until I'm.
Oh, so you
I
don't
try
peek.
to do. I don't try. I try to do that. I mean, sometimes I do, but
I'm just the opposite. I get the corners half off, and I got to look at it. Then I take them off a little more, and I'm just the opposite. I got to watch it transform.
Yeah,
Rebecca, you do too, right?
I don't know. I feel it a lot mid-process just to kind of like check to see if there are any inconsistencies, but I also like to just have that kind of reveal at the end. But I have to check throughout the process to make sure there aren't any weird inconsistencies. So it gives it away.
Yeah, when I can, I like that. I mean, I do like if I can start it from this beginning, and then you stop it and you're like, oh, damn, this grain is beautiful, but yeah.
Well, I'd like two questions here. Number one, Michael, do you have any more questions of Rebecca's that you'd like to go ahead and ask?
Yeah, do you want to steal any more?
I'll be nice.
Okay. And then the second question is, and this kind of leads into something else. Do you do any carving, Emmett, at all?
I've dabbled in it a little. I actually messaged Rebecca a while back about I'd like to get a carver, but I don't want a Fordham because I'm not spending that on for the little bit I use. I have a little Win hand tool, like rotary tool, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted like maybe the Harbor Freight one. I looked at Ryobi has one. I've looked on Amazon. I mean, you can get them for like $70 for the the hanging motors with the shaft. I just don't know what's worth getting.
Harbor Freight, $50. You get a tool.
That's what I'm thinking about the Harbor Freight one.
It gives you a foot pedal so you can control the speed that way. I don't think it has the easy swap out for the hand tool.
Right.
But I mean, it's a good tool for the money.
But yeah, I do. I mean, I enjoyed that at like the box I made for the Make a Box challenge. I carved those little stipples or dots or whatever you want to call it. And I do enjoy that, and I want to do a little more of it.
Okay.
But I just haven't gotten really into it yet.
What carving tools are you
using?
Yes.
Thank you.
They're not what you think. What you guys are affiliated with.
Okay,
no.
so it's not what we're hoping for.
No, I when I got started, I bought the little Win tool, and I bought some burrs, just some cheap burrs off of Amazon, just to got a little set of just little wee ones. I don't even remember what I was buying those for, to be honest with you.
Well, Rebecca, why don't you tell us about our sponsor and the fantastic carving tools that they offer?
Oh, well, Emmett, when you feel like upgrading to a better quality tool, you could save 10% off at checkout by going to sabertooth.com, entering YMT at checkout, and getting some superior carving tools from Sabertooth. And I would like to say that they're coming out with some new sized whisper bits, and I'm really excited about that. And they're coming out with like a really nice one, like a whisper bit for my 4-inch angle grinder. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I'm gonna get some really nice finishes coming up on some stuff soon, for all that carving I've been doing lately.
I hope Michael saw the photo. I actually got to see at the show at SWAT Becca's tree where she stores all of her Sabertooth bits. And I got to help take the bits out of it and pack them back up after her final demo. So I really feel like, I've touched royalty here and the tools of royalty.
Yeah,
so,
tree. He's talking about the tree.
I'll tell you something, and those tools, when you pick them off that tree, you got to watch. They'll poke your finger.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those.
And I know she uses them, and they evidently hold their temper and their sharpness really well because
they really
they were prickly. They were prickly.
Yeah, I need to put like just a big door handle, like a like one of the loop handles on the back of the tree so I can move it around without having to like grab the whole thing. Because I've tried to do that and I've caught it once really bad and I just jammed a bunch of carvers into my hand. I was like, oh my God, it's so dumb. But yeah, he got to meet the tree and hang out with it and take a selfie.
I took a selfie.
He took a selfie with the tree. Had no interest in getting a selfie with me. He's just like, let me get
I got a selfie with you.
I got a selfie with you like 2 days later.
Well, okay. Be that way. I've never seen that selfie, so I don't know what it looks like.
It's on Instagram.
I think if I remember right, he's standing with his arm around the tree and his other arm is pushing either something or someone out of the picture.
Rebecca was like, give me my tree back.
I need that.
Oh my gosh. I was looking I found the picture. I'm going to post it to Instagram for our You Made That Instagram. I'm going to log in right now and post it. So another question for you. What makes Emmett tick?
I mean, what I like to do?
Yeah, anything.
What's your inspiration behind
inspiration? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have a notebook and I keep ideas in it, kind of, but they come from everywhere. I don't really know. But yeah, my mind, like most artistic people, it never stops. So other than when I'm sleeping, which is, at 8 o'clock on the couch, I can fall asleep pretty quickly. But yeah, if I'm awake in the middle of the night, I'm thinking of things that I can make. And I usually write them down. I'll get to them eventually, if ever. If I think it'll make a decent video, I'll make try to make a video out of it. But yeah, I get inspiration. I mean, I liked my photography. I hated portrait photography, even though I did it for like 3 years after I got out of school. But I took very, very abstract, kind of like, I think that's why I like Andy Berkey so much, is his photography style is very much like what I was really into, which is a shame because I now I don't even own a camera other than a GoPro and a cell phone. But but yeah, I mean, if you ask my wife, I jump from thing to thing. Like that's what she was like with the lathe. She was like, this is another thing you bought that's going to be, you're going to do it for a year and then you're going to jump to the next thing. Because I do that a lot because I like dabbling in a little bit of everything. But I'll stick with the lathe. I mean, I bought the little cheap Win one. I outgrew it in about a year. I was doing some bigger projects that just was not going great on the little Win lathe. So I jumped up to a Laguna 1216, which is more than enough for me. But nice. I like it. I mean, compared to the Win, I went from like a Hyundai to a Cadillac. It's not like a Bugatti or anything, but it's big enough for me. So, and then my father-in-law won one at the Mid-Ohio.
Yes, he did. That was my lathe too. I've never talked to him again.
Yeah, exactly. We tried to steal Jason's jet because he said just grab one out of the room, and the jet that was in there for the demonstrators was his personal one. So I walked by him and I'm like, hey, do you have the instructions to that? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you told my father-in-law to grab a lathe, so we put it in the back of the truck. And he was like, no, one of the Novas. I'm like, it's already in the truck. But yeah, I get inspiration from anything. I mean, like today I made an F-bomb.
I love that.
I sent it to Rebecca because I thought she'd like it, but yeah, I made a little stand for it and burnt that. It's just oak. And then that wood came from the bottom of a pallet. It was, I could tell it was oak, cool. And I'm like, that's beautiful. That's going to be beautiful wood. So I brought it home, cut it up. That's what I made the make a box challenges out of, that same exact oak wood. So
cool.
I had that in my mind. It was funny when you guys announced that. I had that in my mind of doing an egg box. So then that one, I kind of went all over the place. So I cut the egg. Then I had the idea of gold leaf in the inside. Then I had the idea of doing those little circles on the outside and doing silver leaf in those. And then I was like, instead of painting it black, I'll do ebonizing, which I watched a couple of Rebecca's videos on how to ebonize. So I'm like, I'll give this a shot. So I stuck steel wool in the vinegar, and then we went to Mexico for a week, and I was like, that should be good when I get back. and then I had a grand idea of making a base for it with like legs like Rebecca does, but yeah, no. I only made like 8 of them, and every time I cut them on the bandsaw and then glued them together, they, instead of going the direction I wanted, they were like all over the place. So I'm like, I watched some demonstration you did like 15 times, and I'm like, every time I'm like, I got it now. And I draw it out, and I would cut them, and it would be effed up. So I'm like,
did you turn the legs?
Yeah, I turned them.
Was
like
it
8 times.
Was it the demo I did in Dallas where I was like up in front of a board and like actually demonstrating like
of how you do it? And I'm like, I got it.
Oh man,
I got it.
Okay,
No problem.
Send me an email. I can help you with this.
I'm like, there's no problem. I got it this time.
Okay.
And I'd cut them, and they would be screwed up. So they went from they were going to be legs to they went to spikes. That was like just using spikes.
Of course, any help she provides you will be at the expense of the chess piece that she owes you.
Exactly. So I mean, I was happy with it the way it came out anyway, but I sent that piece to England to a friend of mine, another maker over in England. So I surprised him. I just sent it to him, didn't say anything. And
that's cool.
Yeah, his name's Sneaks Wall Art. So that's the other piece in this room. Where's it at? Over there? He sent that to my wife out of nowhere.
I think I follow him.
Yeah, really nice guy, super nice guy and quiet. But yeah, he just said, I want to send something to your wife, and I'm like, okay. And that hummingbird came in. It's gorgeous. So
nice. Is all the work you have hanging on your walls from other people?
No, just those 2. Everything else is pretty much mine. So that over there is my like thing for our cat that we lost in October. Just a picture and his paw prints and that kind of thing. So
if you want another cat, our neighbors keep having more cats.
I loved it. We hit the jackpot with him. He was the best cat. We had him 16 years.
Oh man.
But it's been nice not having the responsibility of an animal, but it's been lonely. But yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is this the neighbor that you gave the cats to from your attic?
Those were the neighbor's cats.
Oh.
You just gave them back to them.
My neighbor's cats had babies in my attic, and then they came back and got their cats after they were born in my attic.
Well,
anyways, they're really cute. No, I have more questions.
Yes,
Bob.
I was going to ask. No, I was going to ask. Please go ahead.
Okay, it sounds like you're trying to wrap things up. I'm not ready.
No, I'm not trying. I was getting ready to ask, does anybody have any more questions? See, I was prompting you.
Okay.
Rebecca, do you have a question, Rebecca?
I do.
You have this inquisitive look on your face. Please launch.
I'm tempted to just auto-mute Mike every time I have a question. Emmett, do you have not a favorite piece or not a piece that you've given away and regretted, but a favorite piece that you have ever made? This is woodworking or wood turning or just making in general. Whether you have it or not, do you have an absolute favorite thing that you've made?
Oh, I don't know. I did do not wood turning. I did a cross stitch about a year or so ago of the Immaculate Reception. That came out really cool. I don't think that's on my page anywhere. It was before I did Instagram, but it was my winter. I usually try to do a winter project, something I could do at the couch, because once it starts getting dark at night, you start watching TV at 7, and then I would be zonked out, and my wife hated that. So if I kept my mind going by doing something, so I did that, and it took me about a year and a half. I did it through the winter and then stopped it and picked it up again. It came out great. It looks like a photograph from far away. But nice. Wood turning wise, I did make, and this is on my Instagram, I did make my wife a camping scene that I power carved a base, turned little trees, like I don't know how many there are on there, 25 little trees. And then I carved a river through it. So, and I tagged Total Boat in it. I'm like, I'm doing the world's smallest river pour because the base is only like, it's in the other room. I can go get it. And I was pretty proud of it. So I did one of those as a maker swap with just a few trees, and then I didn't have the river in it. So I added the river into that, and then I added LEDs. So I put a little tent with an LED inside of it, and then a fire ring with a little LED inside of it. So you can turn it on, and it makes the fire come on and the tent come on. So I was pretty proud of that. It's on her dresser. That's one of my favorite pieces because it was again, I try to do some things I've never, like I'll dabble in adding LEDs to things. And I'd never done that before, and it worked. So I was pretty proud of it.
That's awesome.
Is there anything that you've had an idea for that you just can't get out of your head and made correctly?
Yeah, I just recently, there's a video on this. I took my pen blank cutoffs and I poured them into resin, and I made, I can't on the camera. But that's all the pen blank cutoffs I did for like a whole, probably a year or so worth of pen blanks. Nice. Just the scrap. And I had been holding on to the scrap with this idea of putting it in black resin, and then letting the grain show. But
you organize them in any way before you pour them, or just like toss them all in?
I just tossed them in, shook the can around, and hope, some of the stuff came out, and then looking through it, it's like, oh yeah, there's some of that. And there's, there's a piece of the micarta from the sphere, and there's a lot of the wood from the maker swaps in here. So that was kind of cool. The only piece I didn't have any was a piece of Bob's Chaos, but it's because I use it for everything. I have a pen. Out of 2 blanks, I have a pen. I have, that light pole is Bob's blank. Oh my God. and I was going to what else? And then I have a letter opener. I use both of those are at my day job. Sorry, put the egg back. Back when you first made those blanks, and I jumped on, that's when I sent you the ketchup and dill pickle soda.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wow.
And then you had your kids taste it.
Yeah. Oh boy, they hated that.
Well, I remember you asked me, "Have you tried it?" I'm like, "No, I haven't tried it. It sounds awful."
Yeah, I sniffed it. I opened it up and sniffed the bottle. I'm not drinking that.
Were the ketchup and dill pickles separate sodas, or were they the same one? Yes. Okay, so some girls came to my door today selling popcorn for their volleyball team or something. I was like, I'm really hoping this isn't a scam, and I didn't just give away $20 to 2 random little girls. But one of the flavors, after I come back out with my money, they're like, oh, we need to know what flavor you're getting. I was like, okay, so they're listing flavors, and it's like the regular, like white cheddar, like cheddar jalapeno, and like caramel corn, and all this stuff. And then they get to like the end where they're like, dill pickle and something else. I was like, wait, what?
Actually, that's dill pickle popcorn's pretty good. So are dill pickle potato chips, but soda pop
I've had
just
dill pickle
didn't.
Potato chips, but popcorn just seems off. And soda.
Popcorn will take any flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think the dill pickle soda, those that I got you were from. There's a soda company here in Pittsburgh. Well, they sell like you can go in there. There's like thousands of different sodas. But I think the dill pickle and the ketchup's actually for Pittsburgh. But they have a dill pickle festival here again because of Heinz. And I think that's where that came from. Where they made it for. But yeah, it didn't sound very appetizing to me.
AAW was in Pittsburgh a few years back. Did you go to that one?
No, that was probably before I turned. I would have gone.
Oh, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was here. I've been here for 20 years. I moved from Virginia when I was 20-something, 23.
Nice. Okay, I had another question and now I don't remember what it was. Oh, what do you plan to do in the future? Like, what's next? Do you have any big projects on the horizon?
I have a resin project that I have had in my head for a bit. It's a funny story. In my yard, I find this rock one day. I'm out there. I was going to say cut the grass, but I don't cut my grass. We'll pay kids to do it. But I was out there doing something, and I found this rock. It was really weird looking, and it was out of nowhere. Like I don't have a very big yard. So I'm like, this is a meteorite. My wife's like, it's not a meteorite. So I bring it in and I put a magnet to it because I've heard they're magnetic and it sticks to the magnet. And I'm like, holy crap, this is a meteorite. She's like, it's definitely not a meteorite. So then I go doing.
Did it have a space peanut in it? Because if it did, it's a Boeing bomb. That's all I got to know.
So I start looking at YouTube videos of how do you tell if you've got a meteorite, and what I've probably found was a piece of slag because there are lots of mills still around in Pittsburgh. I still don't have a clue how I got in my yard, but it's about I don't know, twice the size of a quarter. But anyway, since that was a funny story, I'm gonna cast it in a piece of resin, probably 3 inches round and about 15 inches long, and I'm going to make a comet shape, like I did for Andy Berkey's Dewdrop, but I'm going to have that cast in the bottom like it's coming through space. So just because I think that's a funny story that I found a meteorite. I totally thought it was a meteorite.
If that was a meteorite when it hit your yard, it would have probably taken Pittsburgh out. So just a little side note there.
Yeah, exactly. So
no, it's funny.
The only reason, because I found that it was magnetic, and I'm like, holy crap, it is a meteorite. Yeah. But it was. I found out that slag is also magnetic, so it was probably just used on a road, and I still have no clue how it got there. But that's one thing I have planned. Trying to think of anything else I have. I poured the bottom of that, so that's why I know that's going to happen eventually. It's just been sitting for a while. I have lots of pin stuff that I bought last weekend that I'm
guilty.
Yeah, I got some of the kits from Bullseye Pin Turning, those closed-in kits, and I really want to try those. I bought some of those Liberties from McKinsey.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan was I have a piece of Fordite that I've been sitting on. And then in the pin swap, I actually won a Liberty kit with Fordite on it. So from the Frankenberry.
Braxton.
I guess it's his brother.
Ryan.
What's his name? Ryan, yeah.
Ryan.
That's his son, isn't it?
Is it his son?
I think Ryan is. I think. I thought it was his son, and maybe I'm wrong.
I would just assumed it was his brother because I didn't think Braxton looked old enough to have a son that old. But maybe I'm wrong.
He ages very well.
Yeah. So, and it's funny. So I was talking to Ryan at the show because they sell a lot of Fordite, and I just told him I've been gun shy of doing it and how to do it, and he kind of gave me some pointers, and then when I saw the McKinsey's kit, the Liberty kit there. I was like, this would be perfect. It's not a big piece of Fordite, and it'd be a really nice pin for work, with the stainless steel. And and then I didn't even have a pin for the pin swap. Jason had like a bunch of pins that he was handing out. So he handed me one, and it got to the end, and they had put that in a wooden box, and I ended up with 2 pins. And Jason was like, if you have 2 pins, raise your hand. So I knew that I was about to give one away. So I peeked in the box and saw that it was a Fordite blank on a Liberty, and I was like, well, I'm not giving that away.
I got in that same pin swap. I did not have a pin, but Robert Dudinsky walks up and he goes, are you in the pin swap? I said, no, I don't have a pin. He goes, here, do this one for Sarah, because she had the baby, so she couldn't get in. So when it ended up, I had a pin that was in a little black baggie, and it was tied at the top, so I couldn't see it. So I walked over and I said, I haven't peeked yet, Sarah. This is for you. So she got a beautiful little pin, but it was kind of that was a fun pin swap. I got to remember that they do that. I always forget.
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I would have brought more just to give people that didn't have pins, because like I said, I've got like 40 pins in there that I'm never going to use. And then it was funny. So at the end of the show, I was, shaking Jason's hand and told him, hey, thanks for the pin swap, because I got this really awesome pin. And he was like, oh, I was supposed to get those back, but everybody had left. So he was like, just keep it. So I don't know who donated the pins that he gave. And the one he gave me was a really beautiful rollerball, because I was like, man, if I end up with something that's not as pretty as this one, I'm going to kick myself from just not getting out of the pin swap circle and just keeping what I had. But yeah, it was, I couldn't believe that. And Ryan came over because I guess he watched where that box ended up. It was like, hey, hope you enjoy that. So I've sent him a couple messages on Instagram, like, of it sitting on my desk, like, hey, it's already at work and hard at work, because it became my new daily carry, because it's a beautiful pen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to see it.
I don't have it's at work.
He promises tomorrow to take a photo and post it to his Instagram.
Yeah, I can.
Take a photo. I'd love to see.
I was going to say, I don't think I have that on my Instagram. I did find a picture of Ryan at the show, and it was clipped to his shirt. So then I kept it in my, I wanted to see if it was the actual pen, but yeah, it was. It's really a beautiful pen.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Any other questions for Emmett? Rebecca?
I had another one, but then I got distracted.
I don't know if you get that's definitely not going to do it to me.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm really bad at that. There we go.
That looks good.
But yeah, I will post a picture.
All right. Michael, how long did you say we've been going now?
It's about an hour.
Oh, wow. We better. I hate to wrap it up because we're having such a good time. We may have to have you back on sometime, Emmett. But let's do something. Let's real quickly. run around the table and see if anybody has some dad jokes. Let's start with our guest. Emmett, your dad joke.
I do. Hold on, I have it written down here. What do you call, and this one, Rebecca will like this one because it's a dinosaur joke. What do you call a stinky dinosaur fart?
What?
An extinction.
Oh, Michael, how about you? You got a joke for us tonight?
Yeah, I put my grandmother on speed dial on my phone the other night. I call it Instagram.
That's a good one.
All right. Rebecca, how about you got one for us?
I got two. They're related.
Okay, go for it.
What did the carpenter say when he finished building his house? Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay.
I don't remember the second one.
Well, then I'll tell mine. Last night while I was sleeping, I dreamed I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted this morning. Oh, okay. Let's run through our social media.
Wait. Emmett said he had a couple.
Oh, Emmett, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have a couple written down, but I mean, we don't.
Go ahead.
Tell us one more.
What's brown and sticky?
I know this one, but
What?
A stick.
a stick. That's bad.
As Rebecca's face contorts because she's going through all the different things in her mind that might be brown and sticky.
All right. Any other dad jokes before we roll on to social media? I'm open to listen to a couple more. Anybody? Okay.
I do have a suggestion for your listeners, and I do this all the time because it's really good in Bob's laugh.
Okay.
If you turn the speed down to half speed and listen to dad jokes, Bob sounds like he's had a little too much to drink.
Oh, don't do that, people.
You will hurt yourself laughing. So,
Okay, I'm going to go back through all of the episodes now.
What's really fun is listening to Rebecca on 3 times speed.
I was going to say, speed that up. It would be better.
Exactly. Yeah.
That sounds like the end of my last walking mushroom demo. Bob, were you part of that?
I didn't make the walking mushroom.
Okay.
I was demoing at the same time, so I couldn't.
Tim Yoder was demonstrating right across the wall from me. And he walks in at the beginning of the demo. He's like, "Hey, you need to calm down in here with all your applause and yelling and shouting. You're waking up my audience." So I was like, "Okay, sure, Tim, we'll keep it down." So I'm getting into my introduction and everything, and it's going real well, and I'm on track, and then we hear this just like wave of whoa from the next room over, and I was like, okay, it's on now. So we had a cheering battle on and off, but it put me like 10 minutes behind on my demo. So the last like 5 minutes of my demo should have been the last 15 minutes of the demo. And so and during that last 5 minutes, Tim's whole audience came into my room to watch what all the fuss was about.
Oh, hey, Rebecca, I'm going to slow my laugh down. That was just for you. That way you guys don't have to slow it down.
Oh, and hearing that at half speed is going to be great.
Oh, my God.
I just had to bring that up because it is great. But
I've heard of people listening to it at faster speed, but I've never heard of anybody listening to it at slower speed. Normally, it's too painful.
I discovered that by accident one time. Yeah. I was listening to it and getting ready for work, and I don't know how it got on half speed, and I'm like, what is going on? And you guys happen to be doing dad jokes, and then I was like laughing, crying. My wife's like, what is wrong with you? So then I had to like rewind it, like, listen to this.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, why don't we run through our social medias? Let's start with our guest, Emmett. Give us your social medias.
I am Deadrise Woodcrafts everywhere. Instagram, Facebook pulls over from Instagram. I don't really do anything there on on it, but it's there, and YouTube. So, like I said, it's all small, but it's Deadrise Woodcrafts everywhere.
See how that works, Rebecca.
Hey.
Michael, tell us what your social media is.
Lost River Pens, basically everywhere.
Wow. Okay. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at RJB Woodturner. And you can find me at my shop vlog channel on YouTube at What You Doing Bob. Rebecca, why don't you run through the plethora of contact opportunities?
Hold on. I made a modification. Actually, Henry did this for me. You can go to Linktree.
There you go.
And you can find me if it's whatever the Linktree thing is. Type in Rebecca DG.
Yeah.
And you'll find my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcast links, Etsy, and Redbubble all on my Linktree.
Wow. Nice.
But the Linktree is Rebecca_.
No, it's just Rebecca DG. Just Rebecca DG.
All right. Well, I'd like
Did you ever get your website figured out?
No. Henry's gonna just remake it for me. It'll be fine.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank Emmett for joining us this week, and let us know, guys. We'd like to have Emmett back possibly at some point in the future.
Absolutely.
So, in the comments, let us know how you enjoyed the interview, or let us know if you would prefer we never had Emmett back again.
That's fine too.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you.
That also goes for the normal host. If you want any of us gone, just let us know.
Exactly. So that's about all I've got. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to You Made That, the podcast about makers, making, and the things we make. Have a great evening.
Bye.
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 Huh.